Alright, new event.
いよいよ任務よ。
New event
準備はいい？
story. Yomihara, Detective Knight of Beginnings. Yomihara, Detective Knight of Beginnings. What does that mean? I guess we'll find out. Oh, let's start with... Let's do Clone Yukikaze first. Probably do some upgrades.
Support 任務ね。オーケー、任せて。単純な紙がどのように変化していくか、紙の力をお見せします。少しずつでも努力するのが大切なのよ。それがあなたの判断なら。
At first, it felt like nothing but a wonder. It's just a nuisance now. It's a nuisance. Oh, is this a clone Asagi? Interesting. So we're dealing with clones again. Bad, she's not even a Taimanin from Gosha. Her identity was linked to a clone facility. Yeah, just like the other clones. Clone Asagi. After losing the battle against Task Force and being set free from the brainwashing, she refused the protection of Taimanins and left the premise. Venture out in Yomihara, literally penniless, with nothing but her own book. Foundation, no connection, to her scratched. Earth investigative work. Now she had become the true resident of Yomihara. If I don't find a new work soon enough, I might not be able to pay her the rent this month. You want me to find the missing child? Yeah, Yomihara in this kind of town, you know? I could have only asked you for this kind of request. Sounds harsh, but when children are missing on these streets, they are either soon to be found dead or never found at all. I know, but... I guess it can't be helped. But can't he actually afford the commission fee? Woohoo, thanks. I need to take it. Talk about the fee. Fits the market rate, but there's no way that they can afford an amount like this. Oh, did you not read the request? Really? I'm the one who's commissioned the request, not them. What for? For what reason? They always stuck together, so seeing two of them missing is making me feel a bit unsettled. Seriously, aren't you a softie? Oh, you're one to talk, huh? They turned this corner and walked straight here. They didn't join in on the conversation at all, so they turned back to see what was up. They weren't there. Considering the children's height, their stride would have been about this wide, then about here. Found it. Snatcher might be this guy. Dirty lady has been spotted. As expected of you, boss. When it comes to women, you've got the nose of a bloodhound. Who are you calling a hound? Jeez. You know, if you keep scrawling like that, you'll ruin your pretty face. What'd you say, lady? Why don't you come and hang out with us for a bit? They appear from the rear direction of the footprints we're heading. I'm sorry, but I couldn't have time to deal with you. If you don't want to get hurt, I suggest you get out of my sight. Whoa, watch your mouth. In front of our boss? You think you can act like that when you're standing before the notorious Chainsaw Yuk-chan? Oh, chainsaw what? Why you? You've got a lot of nerve looking down on me while dressed like that. Ouch. Boss, hey, you goons, strike, strike, strike now. They want to fight? They'll have a fight. Let's do this. Yomihara detective, let's go. Reckless gangster. Let's fight them.
任務完了。はっどうですか？私
You'll pay for this. Watching the man scrabble away in a hurry after getting thoroughly beaten in an instant, Asagi let out a sigh. The encounter of these men in the entering scuffle had nearly ruined their footprints. By relying on the unique tread patterns and a clue that showed they were a group of trees, she managed to recover the trail. I guess my mind wasn't playing tricks on me after all. Did they just reach you like that earlier? Expecting the recent commotion to make tracking possible, they retreated for the moment, but because I restarted the tracking, metallic sound. A slash was deflected. Asagi parried a blade, lunging for the shadow by a hair's breadth. There's goal merely to subdue her. There's aggression, but no intent to kill, judging by the impact. Even if a blow had landed, it would not have been fatal. Is it to question me? Where are the children? Children? Did they lose them? Who knows? You think I'd give you an answer that easily? Igawa Asagi? What? Must be just a look-alike. No, it's more than just a look-alike. Why are you here? Wait, are you the one of the clones everyone's talking about lately? I see. Well, even if you are a clone, Asagi would never team up with kidnappers. I guess you weren't the one who kidnapped the children, then. Realizing they had both mistaken the other for a member of the culprit's gang who had come to wipe out the evidence. Well then, now that we've cleared the air, how about we introduce ourselves? I'm Akifuma Aki. Just Asagi. Okay then, should I call you Miss Just Asagi? Asagi's fine. Anyway, looks like Shizuru kept this from me on purpose. Shizuru, you're also here on her request. Well, yeah, I heard about the missing kids. I also heard someone else got the same request. God knows what with the footprints, perhaps erasing or inspecting them. It was so unpredictable she just couldn't tell what was going on. If you had just shown yourself and talked to me, none of this would have happened. You don't say. Since we have the same request, what do you want to do about the commission charge? Do you want to work together and split, or let's just call it finders keepers and take all the reward? I'm fine, I don't really need the money. Why did you take the request? Because they are in trouble. Oh, children, that itself is my payment, and my reward all at once. Good grief, you're a hopeless softy. Alright, I'll join. Great then, I'm looking forward to working with you, Asagi. Likewise, it may only be for a short while, but I'm in your hands, Aki. Wait, is this for real? This is the main road. It's not so surprising. This is Yomihara, not Zanzaki or Tokyo. Street very close to Boulder, and same here you are. The rules are different. What if someone's abducted or collapsed right before their eyes? No one spares a glance. That's the nature of the underground. Still leaving that there had been an exception. Someone who actually cared to begin their inquiries. The two described the kidnapped, the touts and the street vendors, slipping them money whenever necessary for information. The group approached and called them out to them. Hey, I heard you're looking for a guy lugging two brats around. We know a thing or two about him, actually. He bumped into us a while ago. Yeah, one was a blonde and the other was a brunette, right? Riding that guy's shoulder and kicking up a huge fuss. This guy here took a kick straight to the chin from one of them. Solid lead. Sensing their opportunity, the men offered to act as guides to the location. Of course, they didn't forget to mention their price, clarifying that this wouldn't be free. Alright, we'll beat the information out of them. Looks like it's a dead end. No, this is the right place. Yeah, this is dark enough. Back alley's perfect to take down you folks. So it's an ambush. You've been poking your nose in our business. What's all the fuss over a couple of brats anyway? I told you, didn't I? The information doesn't come for free. We'll take your lives as payment. Well, this is pretty much expected, right? Exactly, it's a relief that we're so predictable. Then, without further ado, you guys take them down. Alright, well, let's take them down then. Listen, did you really think we were naive enough to follow you blindly? Damn. This was so harsh. They made things easier for us. Well, that's true. Neither of them had truly trusted these suspicious men. I think something was off. They had deliberately dangled a bait. The result, as seen, speaks for itself. If that's the case, some kind of electromagnetic sound rings. You're all done for. Soon our boss will be here. What even is that? Well, you know, once your alarm goes off, it takes a while for everyone to get ready and gather. I don't really mind waiting. Oh, but you were getting tired of chasing down each clue. If you're bringing the fight to us, you're actually doing us a favor. Sound of countless footsteps began to echo from all around. Finally, a heavily armed group emerged. Whoa, I wonder what all the fuss was about. The emergency? But you seriously got your asses beat down by just them? Sorry, but they were stooping around. There was a hulking man who appeared to be the leader of the reinforcements looked up. Koko and Asagi and Aki up and down as if slicing them up. Our business, you say? You seem skilled, but you're sticking your nose in where they don't belong. Saving a couple brats like that won't even pay well. Why not team up with us instead of wasting your time? Would pay the top dollar for someone with your skills. Yeah, we'll never join hands with those who dare make children cry. If your job is to kidnap children, our job is to rescue them. Figured it'd end up like this. It's a waste to kill such talents, but so be it. Get them. Alright, we're gonna have to fight that big dude too. Alright, let's take them down. Those monsters. Easy. Destroyed by the dark flame. There's the big guy. Take the pole. There we go. Mobster boss. Section 3, easy. Done. Next section, let's switch to... Could do arrows. Let's do Sock. We need to level up Clone Yukikaze though, so let's do Clone Yukikaze again. Clone Asagi and Aki extracted a location of the kidnapped children from the now subdued men. Of course, they were not talking willingly, so it took a bit of painful experience to loosen their tongues. So, there's some kind of research, and there are some psychos out there who need young kids as test subjects. Yes. Orphans from the back alleys, with no parents and even less protection. Just snatching them up and selling them brings in a decent income. It's like picking up the stones from the gutter and trading them for cash. Perfect way to make some money, apparently. They should be near the sewage facility by now, for sure. See, the nomad surveillance is tin around there, and there's an entrance those folks always use. It's nice when someone anticipates the next question rattles on before being asked. So that's all I know. Can you, would you mind just pretending I was not here? Just me? But hearing them talk so casually about abandoning their comrades just to save their own skin. I knew they were bad, but these guys are straight up trash. Should I just finish them off right here? Well, let's leave Yomihara's business to its managers. I've already reported this to the army of knights. Hell Knight's on duty today, and she has a strong sense of justice, so I'm sure she'll be able to handle things just fine. The Hell Knights, with a strong sense of justice from Nomad. What's even supposed to be? Sounds like jumbo shrimp to me. It means there are various kinds of people, even in Nomad. Well then, here you go. Man gets knocked out after being hit with a scabbard with full force. According to the interrogation, the deal was struck only moments ago, which meant it might not be too late. Leaving them behind, Clone Asagi and Aki rushed towards the sewage facility. They moved through the facility's tunnels, tracking the route to the buyer, who would take to exit Yomihara. Has this been a high-profile kidnapping for ransom, the captors would have covered their tracks and scrambled back to their base. What they brought as soon as worthless, nothing more than stones on the side, then nobody cares. They felt no need to worry about someone stealing their goods. Hence, there was no reason to race their trail. That's probably what they thought. Moving with a silent, wind-like steps unique to ninjas, Clone Asagi's group sprinted through the tunnel. The trail was so clearly obvious that they didn't even need to slow down. By the way, I don't get it. They won't cover their tracks, but why would they escape through the sewer to avoid prying eyes? Honestly, I don't really want to know. Whatever messed up things they're thinking. I agree with you on that. As they spoke, a chaotic commotion echoed from deep within the tunnel. The dull thud of impacts, angry shouting, and then gunfire, the sound of combat. Damn it, these goddamn insects. Did they enter some kind of breeding cycle? Talk about rotten luck. Found them. Yeah, lucky that insects hindered them. Wait, who are you people? Let's just say we're the champions of justice, here to take them back. What? Hey you, forget about these insects and shoot them first. Yes sir. Fast thinking. In that case, we'll return the favor. Here we go. Let's finish off with Vanaros. Damn it, you bastards. Who sent you? Why are you after me? It seemed they didn't believe Aki's claim about coming to rescue. Why would they? In their world, such a thing would simply be inconceivable. I don't care which organization sent you, since everything is negotiable. How much are they paying you? Actually, it doesn't matter. I'll give you double whatever it is. How about that? Look, your life isn't exactly our target. We're here for the two you brought. Return them to us. We promise to let you live if you hand them over. What? Men stared back with sheer incomprehension. You came back to take these pebbles? I spent money I didn't even owe, giving them a semblance of words. What is wrong with these people? They would pose just cherries to collect and analyze health data from homeless and orphans. When you find a potential subject, they would hire professionals to stitch them up. Through a series of cybernetic surgeries, these worthless tricksters would be transformed into valuable assets, and then sold off as high-end bodyguard. The subject's will was never a factor. Yet the man says they viewed this as a form of philanthropy. He invested in the screening process, fueled by the economy by hiring experts for the abductions, and provided a recycling path for social garbage that would have otherwise died pointlessly in the gutter. Getting a little profit along the way was just standard business. I'm not going to lose any hard-earned top-grade subjects here. You, huh? It's only then that the man really looked at clone Asagi, a face etched in his memory, a face identical to the almighty Taimanin, a woman known to everyone in the underworld. Yet there were differences. The device on her arm isn't an enhanced exoskeleton. He had seen it once in her research data. That is undoubtedly a cyborg arm with built-in gravity control mechanism. She's equipped with Nemesis. I see, she's a clone. Compared to these two, her value as a subject, if I play this right. She wasn't an opponent he could defeat in a fair fight. That much had been proven moments ago. Don't move, not if you value the lives of these brats. It was a sudden, desperate shriek, but the bodyguards caught on instantly, seizing the kidnapped children and using them as hostages. He's stubborn. I give him that. Well, damn. Now what? Now we have no choice but to kill you. Akizora shifted so violently it felt as if her murderous intent had become visible to the naked eye. I can hand over them, but there is a price. A price? Yes, that girl. If she offers herself up instead, I'll release them. The duo's gaze sharpened as the man's words pointed towards clone Asagi. You must be dreaming. Unbelievable. You're here to save them, aren't you? All I need is research material, and it doesn't have to be them. I just need a replacement, and that woman, the one with 4 prosthetic limbs, seems like a perfect fit. Well, what? It happened in the flash. A gale infused with cherry blossoms colored demonic energy swept through. The research-looking man was struck from behind by a gust of wind and sent flying while the compressed air snapped the arms of the bodyguards holding their hostage. She came. What is that? I came as soon as I got the anonymous tip, then saw the children held hostage, so I decided to do a surprise attack as the bust opening. The girl shouted violently, her cherry blossom blade at the man. I've seen enough. You're the scum, kidnapping the children right here in Nomad territory. Storm Knight Lena will deal with you from now. That is the aforementioned Hell Knight of Nomad with a strong sense of justice. For justice. Hey, I'll cooperate for you now, but are you by any chance Igawa Asagi, the Taimanin? Different person. Really? I get that often, but I'm a different person with the same face and the same name. They say there are at least 3 people in this world who share the same face, right? Like if the Taimamins were to infiltrate Yomihara, they wouldn't send their comrade-in-chief. Could send someone, you know. A little less high profile, wouldn't you think? I don't feel like I'm not being fooled. But fine, right now arresting them is my priority. I'm counting on you. Let's do this. Let's take down the gangsters. Not the researchers, but yeah. Alright, let's take down the researchers. Where are they? Down here? Fine raft. There we go. Ooh, we're actually fighting a cyborg samurai. Okay. I'll be easy. Defeated. After trashing the thugs who kidnapped the children, and shady researchers who brought them, Asagi and Aki returned safely to Shizuru's bar with the rescued children, and of course, Lina tagged along. So, you know that Hell Knight fellow, why did she tag along? Aki leaned in and whispered to Lina, so she wouldn't hear, to which Asagi replied in an equally low voice. She wants to reward us for helping her maintain public order. That is correct. But she's a demon after all. It seems she caught every word. I was on patrol duty today. I never imagined the kidnapping would happen right under my nose within town. It was my negligence that dragged uninvolved. And tilts her head for a moment, halting at ordinary civilians. Having witnessed how those two fought, she seemed to be debating whether the term ordinary civilian even applies. Anyway, I caused a lot of trouble for you two. Even though you had nothing to do with this, I'm truly sorry. No, there's no need to apologize, really. Besides, it's our duty as adults to help them. Lina seems genuinely moved by Aki's words. Well, what a fine mindset. We were commissioned and carried on with the request, that's all. Honestly, you're just not being true to yourself. You saw the kids in trouble and couldn't just walk away, could you? She doesn't affirm it, but she doesn't deny either. Lina thought to herself that while she isn't honest, she is certainly an easy person to read. The detailed investigation hasn't started yet, but to briefly explain, the mastermind behind this is... With that, Lina began her story. They belonged to a UFS-affiliated research institute, claiming it was part of a poverty. The United States-affiliated research, okay, yeah. From the US, okay. Claiming it was part of a poverty relief initiative, they conducted health checkups on the homeless and poor. Using that data, they gathered vessels suitable for cyber procedures and... Wait, stop. I was just beginning. Enough of that story. It'll just kill the mood. Now, we just have to say, we saved the kids, hooray, cheers. Yeah, let's get drunk in the bar now. Huh? Yes, that's good enough for now. You said the specifics are still being investigated. I did. Then let's talk about that after the investigation is complete. For now, all we need to do is celebrate and raise a toast to saving the children. I guess that's true. Sorry. I missed all that. Light snacks and bar snacks were placed on their table. We haven't ordered yet. I know this is a token of gratitude for successfully completing the request. It's on the house. Chizuru brought a high-end looking wine from somewhere and poured it into their glasses. She said it's also on the house with a wink, before handing out snacks and juice. Aki smiled and said, seeing the smiles of the children who are happy to have their kidnapped companions back. This somehow makes her also feel at peace. Come to think of it, you two seem to get along quite well. Have you known each other for a long time? No, we just met today. We both mistook each other for the kidnappers who took the kids, you see. Yeah, we almost killed each other. That's right. We almost killed each other. That just happened. Really? You work so well together that I thought you'd know each other for ages. Well, I guess it's because our hearts were in the same place. We both had the same desire to save the children. Watching Clone Asagi quietly tilt her glass, Lina suddenly asked as if something had just occurred to her. Now that I think about it, based on our earlier conversation, you said you've been to a Yomihara for quite a while now, right? What do you usually do for work? Nothing I can really call a job. I'm unemployed, or I guess you could say that I'm a freelancer. A freelancer, huh? Oh, I know them. Why don't you try being a detective? The way you were searching for the back alleys looked pretty convincing, just like a detective out of a novel. A detective, huh? Me. The occupation of detective didn't quite resonate with Clone Asagi, but she figured it certainly might not be a bad idea. To put it simply, it would be something like a private investigation agency. Besides, you know, even with the kids you helped, it sounds much better to be called a detective lady than unemployed lady, doesn't it? Wait a second. Why is it the premise that they'll call me lady? You'd want them to, right? It was incomprehensible for Clone Asagi, but it seemed like an important matter to Aki. Regardless, if you're going to live in Yomihara, it's better to have a job. Whether a detective agency or a private investigation firm. If you decide to open up an office, I'll pull a few strings as a gesture of gratitude for helping us maintain public order. An office, you say? Asagi fell into serious thought at the suggestion. Seeing her like that, Lina then turned the conversation toward Aki. And Aki, you just got to Yomihara yourself, so you're technically unemployed too, right? Why don't you two try working together? No, well, from the fight earlier, you two look like a pretty good duo. And based on the conversation so far, your personalities would click. At those words, Aki makes an expression that suggests she doesn't really hate the idea. Meanwhile, Clone Asagi seems to have finally made up her mind. Me as a detective? Detective, you say? Yeah, that doesn't sound bad. You mean we as a detective? Aki seems to be already on board. Seeing her bright, refreshing smile, Clone Asagi let out a small smile of her own. Well then, shall we start by naming the agency? In Shizuru's pub, a close sign is up to signal the end of the day's business. Inside, Shizuru was preparing for tomorrow's opening, and one other person was sitting there. So what were your impressions after meeting her in person? Well, first of all, I never imagined we'd meet in a way like that. Good grief, you've got a twisted personality. My apologies, but I thought doing it that way would be more natural and draw less suspicion. The meeting between Clone Asagi and Aki was a situation engineered by Shizuru. Wait, so Shizuru was the mastermind? Wait, what? course, she wasn't involved in the actual kidnapping of the children, though. Okay. No matter how much of an Asagi clone she may be, I felt she was a bit unreliable on her own. But Chizuru did so to bolster the combat strength needed to save the kidnapped children. It would have been a good opportunity for the two to build trust. So I still haven't heard your answer. How was she, the clone Asagi you met in person? At that question, Aki let out a sigh, paused for a beat, and spoke. She's not a bad person. She acts cynical and tries to play it cool, but she's so hopelessly kind-hearted that she can't hide it properly. Well, I suppose that cynical front comes from the fact that she's a clone. I see, so she looked that way to you too. Anyone would realize it after talking to her once. Easy to read, hopelessly kind person, the two agreed that this was her true essence. I'll handle today's report. You just continue with the surveillance mission. Chizuru might have noticed how Aki's expression momentarily stiffened at the mention of a surveillance mission. Yeah, I get it. Answering bluntly, Aki left Shizuru's pub. Ooh, that was interesting. Got some background lore and information. Alright, so Clone Asagi is now working in Yomihara Underground as a detective. That's good to know. We could pull something for the gacha. We could try pulling for Fuma. Let's do... too expensive. I'm interested in that one. Let's do the minigame and then call it a night. Nice. Got some gold. And that was Yomihara, Detective's Night of Beginnings. See you next time on Action Taimanin.